Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU and welcome to Magic 2014. It is going to be a multiplayer series of matches that I'll play against my dear arch-nemesis gameslayer, and by series I mean it is going to be a best of 7 of best of 7s. Yes, that's right. Those of you who already know my channel may remember that I did the same thing for Magic 2013 last year when I played with gameslayer, or rather against gameslayer. But for those of you who are unaware of the format, I'm going to briefly explain it, and if you know how this format works already because, for example, you watched it before, or maybe you're just uninterested, then you can skip this introduction by clicking the annotation wherever I choose to put it on the screen, somewhere around here I guess. So, the format is as simple as it follows. Each day me and gameslayer are going to play a best of 7 of matches. A person who wins most of those matches is going to be crowned a win. A person who gets 4 wins, as in wins at least 4 days, gets to win this best of 7 of best of 7s, which is a miniature tournament, I guess you could call it. It's really as simple as that. Now, there are some rules involved when we pick our decks as well. Those rules have changed from last time a little bit. This time it goes as follows. There are 15 decks for both me and gameslayer, because we both have the original game and the expansion, but we didn't buy the additional decks, because there are also additional decks you can buy for this game. So each of us has 15 decks to choose from. Now, 4 of those decks we randomly pick and we have to play as them in our set of best of 7. Then we pick 5 decks that we cannot play as no matter what. Then our enemy picks 1 deck for us that we have to play as, and also bans 1 deck for us so that we cannot play as it. And then we can freely choose the 2 remaining decks to play as. It might sound a little bit complicated, but it doesn't really matter all that much. You get the general gist of it, I guess. Now, I'm not going to show you exactly what cards I have in my decks. That's because I know that the gameslayer will watch this videocast, and I do not want him to know what decks I'm going to use against him, or rather what deck combinations I have in play. What I am going to show you, however, is what decks I'm going to play. In here, I'll just not tell you exactly what cards they consist of. So, the decks that I can play as are the Mind Maze, my favorite deck, mostly because I'm a blue fanatic in real life, and in games I always like blue the most, even though Mind Maze in this game is probably not the most powerful deck. It's in fact kinda mediocre, but I love it a lot. As you can see, I actually grinded it to fully unlock all the cards that are within this deck because I like it so much, so I'm very happy I can play as it. My second deck that I can play as is Awesomeness Glory, a white deck which is pretty strong in its own right. I'm not going to explain you how strong it is, you'll just have to see it for yourself, because I do not want to waste too much time on this introduction. So that's another deck I can play as. I can also play as Hunter Strength, a mono green colored deck, and Masks of the Demir, which is a blue-black deck. Kinda random and strange and gimmicky, but whatever. I can also play as Guardians of Light, the fairly powerful mono-white deck. I can play as Hove Champions, which is a triple colored deck, which I kinda changed so that it's mostly double colored with a tiny bit of blue added in. I can play as Chant of Mordai, an incredibly powerful green deck. And I also can play as Enter the Dracomancer, which is a deck I like just because it has dragons. As for gameslayer, he also can play as Enter the Dracomancer. He can play as Deadwalkers, a mono black deck, which is one of the most powerful decks in the game. He can also play as Dodge and Ban, Lords of Darkness. I don't think, no, he cannot play as Von Might, but he can play as... wait a second, not that, not that. He can play as Masks of the Demir, that's right. He can play as Awesomeness Glory, and is that all? I think it is. Those should be 7 decks that he can pick from. Maybe I missed something, but it should be 7 decks for both of us. So now you know the decks we can choose. We obviously can pick a deck from at the end of every match, or rather before every match, so we won't know which decks we're going to fight against. We'll just know what decks the enemy cannot pick because, for example, the enemy already picked a deck. Obviously, we cannot use a deck twice. We can only use a certain deck once. So that's about it for the rules. It was kind of lengthy introduction, but I hope you now understand the rules of engagement for this particular series. This videocast may get a little bit long, so I encourage you to grab some popcorn or some kind of snack before you start watching. Anyway, let's get right into the battlefield, and please wish me good luck. Okay, we are ready to start match number 1, and I am opening this with Chant of the Moldaya, a very powerful deck as I said, but I like to open it up with Guns Blazing per se. So, let's have a quick look at our opening hand as we are waiting for other players. There we go. 3 lands, but the possibility to get even more land, which is nice. Colony Head Expedition, very nice, and double always Dust, that's not too good. Even though I have plenty of mana to start with, double always Dust is pretty bad. So now I have even more mana and some more always Dust. Okay then, should have kept my previous hand. I guess I'll keep it, because at least I do have a creature to play at some point. So let's play my first mana. I'm not too sure if... Yeah, I have more than one green deck, so Gameslayer doesn't really know which deck I'm playing as of yet, but he may suspect that I opened it with Guns Blazing. And he opened it up with Lords of Darkness, so he's opening with a deck that he doesn't consider to be all that great, whereas I am actually playing with one of the best decks I have. Mostly because, as I said, I like to grab a first win if at all possible. So let's start manaing it up, because it's fairly important. Another mana, and I just did draw an Eldrazi, which is fairly important. I need those Eldrazi's in order to kill Gameslayer. And I'm not gonna play anything this turn because I cannot play. Now this guy, Festering Goblin, fairly annoying because when he dies, he causes one of my creatures to get a debuff. Thankfully, I'm playing with mostly Eldrazi creatures, who are pretty good at ignoring those kind of debuffs. Also, the other thing is Lords of Darkness, which is the deck that Gameslayer is playing as, is kind of specializing in big, stumpy creatures. And you know the thing is, those big stumpy creatures might be all cool and stuff, but they are no match for the Eldrazi. That said, Gameslayer also has some card removal, which makes me slightly worried. So let's cast the Elf, let's grab some more mana, because I do need it. Gameslayer definitely knows which deck I'm playing as. So let's pick... this tree looks nice enough. Confirm. And continue. I cannot do anything as of yet. I need a ton of mana in order to start using my Eldrazi's. The gimmick of Eldrazi is pretty simple. You get enough mana, you play them, and you win the game, if at all possible. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult, though. Okay, Triumph of Cruelty. This is very difficult to deal with. Yeah, I'll have to continue discarding cards because... Hold on a second. No, I won't have to because... No, I will have to. We both have the equal power. So this is bad, but I have cards to discard, I have all this dust and I can discard it. And now the worst scenario possible just happened to me. I do not have mana, I do not have anything to draw mana with. Which is rather bad. So I think I'm gonna keep this guy for defense. Yeah, why not? I don't really want to go in the town. Triumph of Cruelty, going on. Now I have to discard a card. All this dust is gonna go away. I'm gonna pray for more mana and more mana drawing cards, but I was very unlucky. The deck I'm playing as is configured, or at least I configured it in such a way that it is just stuck full of cards that are supposed to make you draw mana, and with mana cards as well. The odds of drawing mana are almost 50%, which is unusually high for a deck in Magic the Gathering. In case you're unaware, it's usually around 40%. I went with 50 because I need a lot of mana. But so far I've been very lucky. 4 Eldrazi, so it's fairly cool, but I'm gonna lose 2 of them every 10. So I think Gameslayer won, even though my deck is fairly bad. So I've got more mana, which is nice, but I'm going to lose 2 Eldrazi creatures this turn, and then it's just gonna go downhill from there on. All I need to do is be able to cast at least one of those Eldrazi's. Then again, Gameslayer will probably be able to deal with one Eldrazi. So I think I can get rid of... I might need all this dust. I'm definitely gonna get rid of one of the Crushers. And this guy costs too much mana, I'm gonna get rid of him as well. Oh wait, I only had to choose one at once. Okay, so let's discard this one and discard this one as well. So 2 Eldrazi is discarded. I still have 1 Eldrazi creature, which is very important. I'll try to keep a hold of it if at all possible. And all of this dust, I did keep it because I want to get rid of those cards. So, if at all possible, I want to play all this dust and then be able to still play Eldrazi. I mean, I will have to play Eldrazi first because all this dust will get rid of lands. Will it though? I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not sure if lands are considered called permanents. I know it's supposed to be elementary knowledge, but I just don't remember. Yeah, I guess it happens, even though I played a lot of Magic games, so yeah. Okay. Goblin is going to have to cast our -1/-1 on his own creature, which doesn't matter at all, but that's fine. At least he wasted this creature. Okay, more mana, and I can play all this dust. Let's do this because otherwise I'm going to lose this Eldrazi anyway. So I'm gonna save the card in my hand. And that's about that. So Awesomeness Dust heading into play. I'm gonna reset the board, except we still have mana. Okay, Awesomeness Dust does let you keep the mana, which is very good. It means that now Gameslayer's advantage just suddenly disappeared while mine still stands. Only have one Eldrazi though, which is a slight problem. I'm almost certain that Gameslayer has means to dispatch this guy. He also has 3 cards, which is fairly annoying. Alright, another mana. Don't want to cast this guy. It's fairly likely that I will lose him, but I have to risk it. I mean, it's not like I should just wait. So let's try and cast him and see what happens. I've got 8 mana, just enough to cast my Eldrazi. And see what happens. I'm almost certain Gameslayer is just going to kill him outright, but maybe, just maybe, he will not have the cards to do it. He has them in his deck, I'm certain of it, but maybe he didn't draw them yet. It's mostly mind games that is happening right now. And he got, oh, Lord of the Void. Well, this is fairly annoying because he can get Eldrazi's this way. Holy Toledo, alright. That's not good. Guess that if he's lucky enough, he can get a bunch of Eldrazi's. Alright, this card is pretty useless late game, but at least I have it, I guess. So there is that. Art Expedition basically lets you draw more lands if you draw lands. That's basically the gist of it, but we are fairly late in the game, so yeah. Okay, Nagas is losing mana, but he doesn't care about it at all because he's about to grab some Eldrazi's, which will be very, very annoying, and I think he's actually going to snatch a victory from me. How lucky of him to get his signature card when he needed it the most. Holy Toledo. Let's hope he doesn't get Eldrazi, but it's fairly unlucky. And oh, I have to sacrifice mine. Yeah, Gameslayers got really lucky with his draws. Well, it's okay, I did pick a strong deck, so I guess this evens the odds a little bit. Only if I get rid of one of his strong decks in the same manner. Because really, he got a really good cards. Ah, well, it happens, I just lost. Now he's gonna get an Eldrazi. Which one though? This is a very powerful card, but it doesn't look like he got an Eldrazi. No Eldrazi for him, which is fairly good. He cannot get a Spore Mound. Or this guy, which was what I expected to happen. So yeah, he's got a bunch of 0/1s. And he's gonna make those plants even more powerful further down the line. Oracle of Moldiah, not going to save me at all. I'm dead in a few next sentences. And oh great, my next card is going to be the Hard Expedition. I'm super dead. That's fairly lucky. So far, just in case you're unaware, this deck is usually very beastly. If you can get some of those Eldrazi's going, it's hard to stop you, honestly. The thing is though, and also just to add insult to injury, every time I played against there in our practice matches per se in Magic 2014, and we played a lot of matches, mind you, I almost always won, with some very rare exceptions. Oh, thank you, Gameslayers, that's so nice of you. So I almost always won with very few exceptions, but because we're recording, and we discovered this a long time ago, I have pretty bad luck when recording, so I'm expecting a 4-0 loss right here. Okay, I can kill one of those plants without any loss, but I'm still going to lose the game. So GG, thank you Gameslayers for giving me more cards. Now I know that nothing would save me, so yay! That was fairly unfortunate. Yeah, I know I'm dead. Come on. So, first match done. That was fairly quick and kind of anticlimactic, but I guess it happens. You win some and you lose some. So far I only lost some. Okay then, let's head into match number 2. Stay tuned. Alright, just because I like to go out guns blazing, I started with a strong deck. How about I continue? Mind Maze is not a deck that Gameslayers considers strong, but I do, especially since I configured it to its maximum possible ability. To my maximum possible ability anyway. It has some very cool gimmicks as well. Alright, starting hand, not the best, not the worst, I'm gonna keep it. 4 mana is nice, I've got 2 very nice counters and a Phantasmal Image, which is one of my key cards in this deck. I didn't get any of my Phantasmal Mages, unfortunately. Phantasmal Mages, in case you are unaware, they give all of your illusions +1/+1 and also give them a hexproof. Now the thing about illusions, I have a ton of illusions in my deck. A ton. So this mage can make me incredibly powerful, and if we add in the fact that I can copy the mage with a Phantasmal Image, this can get out of hand with illusions that get +8/+8 and are hexproof. So yeah. Unfortunately, Gameslayers is playing with one of the few decks that are very good, actually one of the not so few, quite a few decks that are pretty good against Mind Maze. He's playing as the Enter the Dracomancer. Think about this. Mind Maze has almost exclusively flying creatures. At least my deck does. I'm really good at killing people who do not have flying or range. Gameslayer has a ton of flying because he's playing as Enter the Dracomancer, so that's fairly unlucky, unfortunately. But well, it does happen. Now, the thing is, I do have plenty of counters, so whatever comes my way, I can just outright counter it. This counter requires quite a lot of mana, but I can also sacrifice a different spell if I need to counter it. Alright, so first of all, this guy lowers the cost of dragons. He has to go down. I don't want him at all. Sorry, you have to go. Also, there's something I probably should have explained about Magic 2014. It is the fact that it doesn't care about the balance. It mixes cards from newest decks, I'm talking about real life decks by the way, and as well as cards from decks that are as old as before the 8th edition, which is pretty old, mind you. But this game doesn't care. It just tries to balance those decks out in the context of this game alone. So you see some pretty powerful cards that are no longer, you know, available for players to play. For example, this counter spell is pretty old and has long since been not available for you to play in tournament play. So far, that's pretty strange. Oh yeah, but this targets my dragon, so he's gone. Oh well. At least Gameslayer wasted the Soul Fire. Then again, he did trade out quite efficiently for a very powerful dragon. But I can deal with that. This guy is fairly annoying. When he dies, he leaves a suppling, which is very good for devouring creatures, and Gameslayer has a ton of devouring creatures, trust me. Right then, I have 5 mana, so I can counter whatever Gameslayer throws my way. I'm not going to play anything just so that I can counter without sacrificing any creatures. And it's about time when a Gameslayer is going to start casting the big creatures. I could of course cast Phantasmal Bear, one of my favorite one mana cost cards. It's a 2/2 for 1 mana, it's great, even though it is quite easy to be killed with abilities. So yeah, I'm definitely going to counter that, thank you very much. Pay the cost. See ya! That's a very powerful card that I just got rid of. So I'm very happy about that, as you may imagine. And I don't really care about this 1 damage that Gameslayer is going to deal to me, so I think that it was very wise of me not to play this Phantasmal Bear, because leaving this card on the battlefield, which allows Gameslayer's dragons to be so much more powerful, would be a death sentence for me. So let's do that, let's cast my Phantasmal Bear and nothing else this turn. Let's make Gameslayer paranoid, think that I have another counter. I obviously do not, but I also don't have anything else to play really. So that's the gist of it. But thankfully, if Gameslayer does play something very powerful, hoping that I do not have a counter, then I'll be able to mind control it, and then I'll also copy it because I can. That's the beauty of Mind Maze, and that's how I hope to win this game, by using Gameslayer's strengths against him. Gameslayer does have a few instances that are fairly annoying and good at killing illusions, but whatever. Okay, let's cast another Phantasmal Bear, keep this 5 mana stockpiled, so Gameslayer is always paranoid, and as I said, it's not like I want to use this mana for anything else. And attack as well, because I can. I've got 2/2. This one is nothing compared to this 2/2. And Gameslayer also, even if Gameslayer was low on health, he probably wouldn't want to trade for that, because he does have, as I said, a lot of devouring creatures. He does want to devour this guy, because it's a very effective devourer. So he's gonna get even more mana. So far he was given a ton of mana, but not too many dragons. So that's very unfortunate for him, which makes me rather happy, but I do want him to get a very powerful dragon so that I can steal him from him. If at all possible, of course. It is also, you know, the risk is that Gameslayer will draw a dragon that is going to be impossible to copy, impossible to mind control, just he'll play too many dragons for me. So I'm not gonna play anything for now. I can have an army of 3 dragons if I so desire, but for now I'm just gonna keep attacking with Phantasmal Bears. And Gameslayer I can feel his fear. He's probably certain that I have a ton of counters. Because it's almost impossible he doesn't have a good card in his hand, as in a high mana cost card that is actually decent. So, okay, maybe he doesn't. He played another Dragon Spirit Shaman. Even if I could counter it, I probably wouldn't, because I want to keep my counters for other better cards. And I do want Gameslayer to cast a dragon actually now, so that they can take him. Minor damage coming through, I'm completely fine with that. And there's also no way that Gameslayer is going to block my bears with his 2/2, because this 2/2 is just so valuable. And hey, I have a counter! Who is also a creature at the same time. This counter is pretty cool, because I can counter whatever spell I choose to counter, and the more powerful the spell is, the more powerful creature I gain as a result of that. So I can let Gameslayer cast a dragon and then might control him, or I can just counter him if I choose to not might control him. So I have plenty of possibilities, plenty of them. No matter how I looked at this, I'm almost certain I'm going to win this game. That's the power of the Mind Maze. This is why I love this deck so much. So, hold on a second. This guy... 6-3, fairly annoying. Do I want to mind control him? Not exactly. I think I'm just gonna counter him. So, flash incoming, countering this guy. I want him gone. And I have a flying 7-7, just, you know, to add insult to injury. Gameslayer must be rather annoyed, rather sad, but then again, he's probably happy that he plays with dragons who entered the Dracomancer, because, as I said, he considers this as one of his weaker decks. And he knows that I consider my blue as one of my most powerful decks. Okay, Soulsfire coming out to deal with one of my bears, to be expected, because Gameslayer now knows that he only has a few turns before he dies. I can now sufficiently deal 7 damage every turn to him. Efficiently, I mean, not sufficiently. But what he doesn't know is that I also have mind control and a bunch of phantasmal images, so no matter what happens, he's dead. I can block that, by all means, yes. I think that Gameslayer doesn't have any dragons in his hand, otherwise he wouldn't attack like this. I mean, right now the cost of his dragons is even higher. Then again, he's got so much mana he could probably cast any dragons he has, except for dragons that cost black mana. Also, I have Royal Elemental. Really cool card, I love it a lot. Whenever you get a land, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you can gain control over the enemy's creature. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I have this version of Mind Control, I have this version of Mind Control, and 2 Phantasmal Images. I think you now know how this deck that I'm playing out plays out. This is how what this deck is all about. It's about utilizing the enemy's strengths against him, and it's pretty good at it as well. Okay, Gameslayer is going to try and charge at me. I'm going to defend with my Phantasmal Bear, because why not? I don't want to take damage if I can just troll the enemy by taking basically no damage. So first strike going out, and that's it. Double strike doesn't proc if the enemy, the guy was fighting, dies. So there we go. Now just to prove that I have what I have, I'm gonna cast a Mind Control on this guy. Just to show off. Just to show Gameslayer that he had no chance. He never did. He also posted something in the chat, but I'm not going to read this, because I'm not going to read this, as simple as that. He may have sweared or something, and this is a kids-friendly channel, not at all. But at least I don't want any verbal abusage on my channel, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not like Gameslayer swears all the time, but, you know, let's not risk it. Anyway, a splendid victory, I'm very happy, and I'll see you in match number 3. Okay, now we're ready for match number 3. I'm going to play as Enter the Dracomancer, because I don't know about you, but I feel like last match had a very big lack of dragons. There were no dragons at all. A few maybe, but that's not good enough for me. So let's have a quick look at my hand. Dragon Broodmare, fairly cool card, but other than that, my hand is not that good. I'll have plenty of land, nothing else. So another one. This is the worst. Another mulligan. This is pretty bad. And only mana with 1 creature card. Yeah, this is horrible. I'm thinking about another mulligan. I'm gonna mulligan again. Only mana, but I have Predator Dragon. Okay, let's skip it. So this is pretty bad. A pretty bad start. I'm starting with 5 cards in my hand. I probably should mention 5 cards for the win. Just so Gameslayer is aware that he just got a free win. Oh, that's Masks of the Dimir he's playing as. I recognize the Swamp card. It's what you get. This kind of Swamp card you get when you're playing as Masks of the Dimir. So yeah. So, unfortunately, he's going to kill me, because Masks of the Dimir is quite a gimmicky deck, not a very good one, so it's fairly annoying that Gameslayer is going to win against me, but at the same time, his deck is way too fast for me to handle. I mean, Enter the Dracomancer isn't too fast, and now that I start with 5 cards, I basically have to get very lucky in order to actually get rolling. All things considered though, I keep gaining mana, which is decent. Last thing I want to happen is to get mana stuffed, but I also desperately need something cheaper than Predator Dragon. It costs 6 mana, and right now I can have 5 at the maximum. I can get this thing, which is only for 4 mana, which is decent, I guess. Okay, Gameslayer drawing more cards. Hopefully he doesn't have good cards in his hand. But his deck, it's a pretty bad deck Gameslayer is playing as, let's be entirely honest about this. At the same time though, he's got some pretty decent and annoying capabilities. For example, he can make me discard cards. He's got a lot of cards that make me discard cards, or just put my cards on the top of my library and then discard my library, which is a very annoying combo and very difficult to deal with. And considering how little cards I have, this may end poorly for me, to say the least. So, okay, against that, taking a while to discard a card, and oh, -3/-3. Well, it's probably a good choice, because most of my dragons have more than 3/3, so it wouldn't matter all that much in the end. Let's get a buff for my dragons, because that's the only thing I can get, and thankfully I will be able to play my Predator Dragon, which is good. Unfortunately, I guess I can kill it quite easily, and in order for this guy to be strong, I need to devour something. Devour gives me, in this case, 2 +1/+1 counters for each thing I devour, so for each creature I sacrifice. And right now I do not have creatures to sacrifice, and this gameslayer, I hate you so much! Yeah, that's bad. Okay, so this is where the end happens. Well, this is where the end starts. I only have 4 mana on the battlefield. I need 6 to play a Predator Dragon, and there's no way I'm discarding Predator Dragon for obvious reasons. So, okay, I'll be able to play Predator Dragon this time, if not for the fact that... Oh wait, I wouldn't, because I still have only 4 mana. Never mind, I'm just retarded a little bit. Okay, I can sacrifice 1 more mana before I have to discard a Predator Dragon, but Gameslayer has so many possibilities to force me to discard my cards, it's unbelievable, so I'm still in a lot of trouble. And also Gameslayer has plenty of possibilities to kill this dragon as soon as he enters the battlefield. So what I want is some kind of weakling creature, maybe the goblin spawning thingy. Okay, I got that, which is good enough. Thing is, if I cast it and the Gameslayer makes me discard a card, then I lose a dragon, but I need to devour something for this dragon to be good. 4/4 with flying against haste is decent, but nowhere good enough. So yeah, let's get some more mana. That's good, and this is being put into my hand as well, so I have something to sacrifice, or rather discard, if Gameslayer makes me discard a card. So that's at least something. Okay, I also have a 2/2, so I can stop Gameslayer's rats from doing minor damage to me, but oh no, he got the Guild Mage. Yeah, he can make me discard cards, and draw cards as well, but mostly discard is the thing I'm afraid of. He can make me discard a card once right now, I think. I'm not sure if you can activate abilities when you have... Yeah, okay, but instead he is choosing to draw cards, so I guess he got pretty bad draws thus far, which is good in my eyes, because my opening mulligan was certainly not the best. So now I can finally play my Predator Dragon. He is still susceptible to the enemy's sorceries and instants, however, after I devour this guy and with this card that I'm gonna get, it's going to be a fairly powerful card. Also have the Hatchling, which is really good when he devours something, but first of all, this guy has to devour. I'm afraid this is what is going to have to happen. It's just like, why wouldn't you devour that? 9/9 on the battlefield with flying and haste. So immediate damage coming your way, Gameslayer, right about now. So there we go, Gameslayer going to take 9 damage. 2 more attacks like this, in fact, and Gameslayer is dead. However, I'm almost certain Gameslayer has ways to deal with this kind of dragon. Almost certain. He certainly has those -3/-3 cards, but they're not good enough. Does he have other removals? I'm trying to remember. I haven't played a lot of Masks of the Dimir. I don't really like this deck, in case you haven't noticed. So, Masks of the Dimir is a little bit of a unknown to me, but it mostly focuses on discarding cards, not killing cards that are already on the battlefield. So I think I'm safe-ish. I think. Also, I really want to draw a goblin or something so that I can cast him and then send my hatchling, eat the goblin, and also have a very powerful hatchling on the battlefield as well. His Devour is only level 1, so he only gets 1 +1/+1 counter for the enemy devoured, but that's still something, trust me. So, Gameslayer, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Also, you may be thinking, hey, you just put all your cards into one basket, because basically what I did is I moved 2 power and 2 toughness to this dragon, and now he's more susceptible. But then again, he's flying, so this 2 power and 2 toughness would be wasted for me if I weren't using it, if it was just on the battlefield lying there, so it's much better in my eyes to just give it all to this dragon. Also, Gameslayer, stop thinking so much. Did he disconnect or something? Because it's really taking him forever. No, he was just thinking... Oh! Evil Twin. Oh, this is so bad. He can kill my Predator Dragon. I hate him so much. So, in case you don't know, Evil Twin is a copy of this dragon, except it is also capable of killing this Predator Dragon. So, Gameslayer just won the game in the most hideous way possible. Then again, Gameslayer doesn't have a Crucible of Fire, so my dragon is slightly-ish better. But he can still kill my dragon. Destroy target creature with the same name as this creature. Yeah, as you can see. So there is that. I assume he's not going to block me when I attack, so I'll get another attack. He shouldn't block me, because blocking me will not kill my dragon. And if he doesn't block me and then attack and then makes me... and then kills this dragon, then he still can survive. So this is the general gist of it. So now what I'm hoping for is to get another goblin and eat this goblin with my hatchling. If that doesn't happen, however, I'll eat my dragon. Yeah, I will. I mean it. So because that's pretty much what I have to do. It looks like I will have to do it, in fact. Yeah. So first of all, I'm not going to eat my dragon as of yet. I'll attack one more time. So that's an additional 9 damage dealt to the gameslayer. And so there's that. Very nice. And now what I can do is eat this guy. So now I'll have a flying creature, which will have trample, which is pretty good. I'll gain +1/+1, so that's +3, and another +3. So that's this guy will be 6/6. So he'll trade evenly with Predator Dragon. That's not good enough, however. But this guy will just kill me outright for free. Let the trading begin. And that's what I have to do, I think. Let's devour my own dragon so the gameslayer cannot kill it. And now we have equal dragons, except his is just a mere copy. It doesn't count. So there we go. If gameslayer chooses to attack, I'll just happily trade. And then I will just rely on top decking. So let's see what gameslayer took out of my library. 2 lands, so that's good. It means that I'm more likely to draw a dragon now. It's just going to be really close. Gameslayer only has 2 health, but you know what? This game can swing either way. And oh, this guy... I don't remember this guy. What the... Oh. Really, gameslayer? I hate you so much. Yeah. One of those rare instances where Mask of the Dimir is actually working as intended, and by which I mean it's actually pretty good. So now I hit 8 damage. It's almost impossible for me to make a comeback and survive. Not even mentioning killing. I'm just talking about survival right now. Fairly unlucky on my part, very lucky on Gameslayer's part. Because, you know, starting the game by being... you know, with 5 cards, that definitely, you know, was the thing that caused me to die. So yeah, F you Gameslayer, that was a lucky win if I ever saw one. For crying out loud. Whatever, you win some, you lose some. 2-1 is not the worst. Beacon of Rest, whatever, just showing off right now. Hey, get back! I didn't show my viewers what Beacon of Rest is. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Gameslayer, just hurry up. There's no way for you to lose this because you can just attack. Come on. Okay, so this is what Beacon of Rest does, as you can see. It basically, yeah, allows Gameslayer to get the dragon that I just lost to just, you know, taunt me a little bit. It's not as strong because Gameslayer doesn't have this enchantment, but, you know, he's just showing off because he can. I'm not even gonna block it. F him. I'm not blocking anything. Hatchling is going to just sit here and watch this thing happen. So anyway, fairly unlucky defeat. Yeah, this best of 7 is going to be called Lady Luck trolling us both. Because this is what is happening thus far. Yeah, stay tuned for match number 4. Hopefully I'm going to win this one, and hopefully I will win this in a more legit way. Okay, we are readying up for match number 4, and I am a little bit scared because I don't have too many possibilities for right now when it comes down to picking a deck to play, right? I mean, I do have Masks of the Mir, which get hard countered by Deadwalkers, so there's no way I'm playing that. I've got Hall of Champions, which is not what I want to play. Either I want to save it for the next match if at all possible. So I'm left with Awaken's Glory and Guardians of Light. And I like Awaken's Glory more than I like Guardians of Light. So I think I'm going to go for that. Besides, it opens up an interesting possibility for a mirror match, because Gameslayer has the very same deck unlocked. So, interesting hand I have right here. I think I'm going to keep it. Even though it's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst considering what I've been getting lately. So, yep, opening it up with white mana. Gameslayer most assuredly has no idea what this means because he knows I have 3 white decks left, so it could be any one of those. And I'm pretty certain he did not land the differences in the mana, how do they call it, pictures, like I have, for example. I mean, I'm not in all cases, but for example, Masks of the Mir, I can quite easily tell. Same goes for Enter the Necromancer and whatnot. And now he's playing us green. What green does he have? Oh yeah, he's playing as... how is it called? Hall of the Champions? I think that's it. Hall of Champions, in fact. So, okay, it's not a mirror matchup. So, I have 2 options. First of all, Champion of the Parish. Incredibly powerful creature. Gonna play it right away. I could play Unruly Mob instead, but this guy is insane. He only costs 1 mana and is just so good. Whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of the Parish. This is insane and it gets out of hand really quickly. Soon this guy will be like 2020. So I guess I will have to deal with him, but he doesn't have too many removal cards. So I'm not terribly afraid. Oh, that's kind of useless card to have. Hello! Yeah, too bad I don't need it. So what am I going to cast now? Well, this guy can destroy artifacts on enhancements, enchantments rather. And I do have Duels, so I'll probably want to get rid of this guy. Question is, do I want to use Fiend Hunter for this? And the answer is, why not? Let's get this guy out of here and start doing some early damage to gameslayer as well with my, how is he called? Champion of the Parish. Because otherwise gameslayer would be able to block and this would be all awkward because he would kill my very valuable creature. I don't want this to happen. Now I can just freely attack with no consequences whatsoever. And again, +1/+1 counter anyway. So it's all good in the neighborhood as far as I'm concerned at the very least. That said, gameslayer, you never know. He might have some sick tricks up his sleeves. And it also depends how he configured his Hall of Champions deck. Because he may have gone for a blue heavy build, in which case he's fairly unlucky because he's yet to play blue, and blue heavy build again generally gives him access to a bunch of pretty interesting and relatively cheap blue cards. But no, he's just going to go for even more enchantment killers, which is slightly annoying because I do want to play this enchantment whenever possible, and I don't want to waste it on those guys that destroy enchantments because it's like what? So yeah, this is not necessarily what I want to do. I want to save this Oblivion Ring. Maybe unable to do so though. Anyway, let's play the Unruly Mob, make my guy even more powerful than before. And I guess, well, there's no need to attack with my Fiend Hunter because he will not go through the enemy's block anyway. So instead, I'm just going to leave this guy at the defense. Also because now gameslayer cannot really attack and kill me. Actually, wait a second. Gameslayer does have Exalted, so he will gain extra 1 and 1 when attacking, probably even 2 and 2 because he'll probably play another creature with Exalted, and then he will be able to break through my line of defense. In case you haven't noticed already, Gameslayer's deck gimmick is relying on Exalted, with plenty of whites and greens, so it's, you know, this kind of good Exalted, not this kind of dark Exalted like from in previous Magic when it was white and black. Now it's white and green and blue. Okay, what's that? Oh, this guy. It's a pretty bad card all things considered. I mean, annoyingly enough, it is a flyer, which I'm not a big fan of, unfortunately. Thing is, however, he gives all the cards that Gameslayer can have exalted. Almost all cards in the Gameslayer's deck are already exalted, so it's like, why would you have this guy over here? I mean, I suppose he's a 4/3 flyer with exalted on himself for only 4 mana, which is actually a pretty good deal, but there are some really sick cards in Gameslayer's deck. Alright, so let's have a quick look. They want 5 1/1 white human creatures tokens on the battlefield. Why not? I mean, this will buff my guy even further, which is rather good, and also allow me to block Gameslayer whenever possible. So now Gameslayer is in a little bit of a pickle, let me call it that, because, yeah, he can block me. What of it? He can also kill my soldiers. He does have a very potent deck clean card, which not only clears the deck but also makes him gain a bunch of soldiers. But it also costs a lot of mana, so I'm safe for the time being, and in the next hit with 8/8, Gameslayer is dead. That said, he's casting quite a few creatures that he can just, you know, have to soak up the damage, and I don't have Trample, so he's gonna be able to do this for quite some time. However, now it looks like he's going to be a little bit hesitant attacking. Yeah, he's not going to use his oh wait. We are just ending combat phase. And he is attacking with his Angel, interestingly enough. Now, he's going to be buffed. And as much as I would love to use Oblivion Ring on this Angel, unfortunately, if I were to do so, then this guy would just destroy the Oblivion Ring, and it would be a waste of an Oblivion Ring. And since I did not draw anything better this time around, I will have to Oblivion Ring this guy. Annoyingly enough, this is the only thing I can do right now. So let's do just that, and now this guy can either block my 8/8, which Gameslayer will have to do, otherwise he will lose, or block everything else, which will also deal a lot of damage. So attack with O, and how much damage is that? That's 5, 6, 7, I won. Well, that was a very, very quick match. Holy Toledo, I did not actually expect it to be this quick, but I'm definitely gonna complain because I deserve this win after the last match, I believe. So yeah, so far those matches have been pretty one-sided, but that's what happens in Magic from time to time. That's why we play in a best of 7 of best of 7s format. That's as close to fair as you can get. Maybe we should have gone for best of 9 of best of 9s, but this would be ridiculous. Either way, it's 2-2 now, and I'll see you in another match. Okay, game number 5 about to commence, and I'm going for Guardians of Light. I didn't want to go for another mono-white deck, to be honest with you, but I cannot risk Mask of the Mirror because, you know, there's this threat of gameslayer going for... Ooh, this is bad. Deadwalkers. This is not the best, but I'll take it. So I didn't want to risk Mask of the Mirror facing against Deadwalkers, and I'm pretty certain that gameslayer is going to play something more powerful now. And I kinda wanted to play as half champions, to be entirely honest with you, but the thing is gameslayer just played as half champions, and it would be late to just mimic him again. I did it already in this best of 7, so... Oh, blue. What blue does he have? Oh, dodge and ban. That's what he's playing. Okay, this will be interesting. So dodge and ban is a very gimmicky deck. It basically relies on having no creatures and just spamming sorceries and instants to great effect, mind you. There's like one creature that this deck, against this deck, really needs. Those are some kind of devilly creatures, which does give him even more instants and sorceries, and also benefit greatly from instant and sorceries. So the thing is, in order to defeat this dodge and ban deck, what I need is speed, amusingly enough, against a sorcery and instant deck. I actually need speed this time around. I don't have any because I'm playing as Guardians of Light. So I see this in dark colors, because if gameslayer gets this rolling, there is no stopping. I mean, he already has a counter ready. He does have plenty of counters in his deck, and I'm almost certain, almost positive he's gonna play a counter. And I do have two very good cards I want to play, so one of them will be countered most assuredly. So one is prevent all damage that will be dealt to this guy. A very nice card. Yes, I would probably want to counter it, but same goes for this card because it's also very powerful. So I'm thinking I play this one and lure gameslayer into countering it, so that then I can play this card in the next 10 if at all possible. So let's try it out, see if he counters it. Yes, he does. Remand. Oh, remand. But it could be worse. It's just putting this card back in my hand instead of countering it fully. It's now that gameslayer just now knows what card I have at my disposal. So it's not that horrible, but still. What it does is it buys gameslayer's time, and gameslayer just needs to store for a little while longer until he gets like, I think it was 6 mana, and gets his devils, and then he's unstoppable. Devils, demons, you know what I mean. Those thingies that are the gimmick of gameslayer's deck. So all he needs to do is stall, and his deck is the best at stalling, unfortunately. So let's try to cast this thing again, see if it works. Probably not. It actually did work, amusingly enough. And the cool thing about this Angel is that gameslayer cannot kill it with things like Landing Bolt or stuff, because those kind of spells deal damage. This guy cannot be dealt damage. So, no damage can be dealt to this guy. So it's relatively okay for me to have this guy on the board. He's a fairly lucky draw, if I have to be honest. But there's still plenty of options for gameslayer when it comes to destroying this card, and it only deals 3 damage, so it's not that bad. Gameslayer can wreck me much faster. Searing Spear incoming, probably to... But it doesn't work, does it? Oh, it's combat damage, isn't it? Oh yeah, it is combat damage. My mistake, so it was a pretty mediocre card after all. But thing is, oh, he's got enough mana for a counter, he might have one. I'm gonna risk it. Please do not have a counter. He didn't, yes, okay, I got one of my most powerful cards on the battlefield. This will allow me to disallow my creatures to go into a graveyard. You may be thinking, why didn't you play this card before? Well, it's because I was fishing for counters. Counters are really terrifying. And here they go, Charmbreaker Devils. They are what is going to make me lose this game. Guess I was lucky enough to draw them. And I do mean lucky, there's only like 2 of them in a deck, maybe 3 if he unlocked them. So, yeah, they are scary and they are here. So I need to deal with them ASAP. So first of all, that's something. I don't have any auras in the graveyard, however, so that's useless. This thing. This will make them slightly weaker, but only slightly, so that's not that good. This is that. I'm a little bit at loss, but then again, this guy is flying and has double strike. I'm gonna take him and then buff him to infinity if at all possible. Although right now I cannot do this, which is slightly annoying. So gameslayer gets a free attack, and the bad thing is, he's going to cast 2 of 3 spells this turn. And this guy is gonna get +4 power for every one of those, so he's gonna be like 16 power. One hit, I'll be almost dead, and then I will never be able to allow this guy to attack me again. Sorry. So the thing I will need to do is just abuse Siege of the New Dawn, and as a direct result, keep sacrificing this guy. So, Siege of the New Dawn, thank you for being here. Return the card to my hand, I'll need it, but gameslayer will be, in fact, able to just absolutely annihilate me. He did deal some damage to himself as well, which is nice, but I cannot finish him off. I would love to, but this aura I can only attach during my turn, and it's not my turn, as you may imagine. So now gameslayer is gonna deal some more damage to me. He's also got 12, 11 creature on the battlefield, and I think you know the gimmick for dodge and ban. It's a very gimmicky deck. It has a great chance of failure, a huge chance of failure in fact, but sometimes if you get lucky, you can absolutely dominate your opponent. Gameslayer is very good at being lucky. So yeah, now what I need to do is spam as many creatures as I possibly can, otherwise there's no hope for me. Then again, how do I spam as many creatures as I can, because Gameslayer is very good at removing those, unfortunately. So the cheapest creature I've got is going to cost 3 mana, which is not good. Let's cast this guy again. And I'll have to sacrifice him, unfortunately. I cannot attach any auras to him because I don't have the mana for it. I did not draw any mana, annoyingly enough. And yeah, when he dies, I can return him to my hand, but if Gameslayer just uses Spirit Away, for example, then I have no blocker and I lose. So yeah, it's definitely not optimal. So Gameslayer just won. As I said, those games have been incredibly one-sided and very lag-based thus far. The only game that was one-sided but not lag-based, I would say, was game number 2 when I won. And I say this because it was very unlucky for me to have Gameslayer be so unlucky, because Mind Maze is very good at abusing the fact that the enemy got lucky and then turning this luck against him. Either way, it's Gameslayer has the advantage again. He cannot win another game or he will win. So I'll try to stop him, maybe. Okay, yet another game about to start. This will be the final or the final match or the match before the final match. So I'm almost certain that Gameslayer is going to use Deadwalkers. They are his ace in the hole, the best deck he's got in his opinion. So I can use Masks of the Dimir. I had to use Hall of Champions. Not a very bad opening hand. I do have some problems with mana, but I have a very good starting creature. So I'm hoping to draw more mana. Usually you shouldn't rely on luck in this kind of game. I'm gonna risk it though. So let's open it up with Akarasan Squire. Very nice creature, 1 mana, 1/1, but it does have Exalted, which effectively makes it a 2/2, which is really quite awesome. Now, Gameslayer, I'll be very surprised. Yep, Deadwalkers indeed. He wanted to capitalize on his best deck, which is good, because if I somehow win this match, then Masks of the Mir would not be useless. If Gameslayer were to use his other deck, Avakan's Glory, then Masks of the Mir would be countered by, you know, Deadwalkers. So I'm really rather lucky in this respect, because otherwise winning this game would mean nothing. Right now, if I win this game, I have a chance to win today's best of 7, which would be rather awesome, if you know what I mean. However, I still have little hope, unfortunately. Let's be entirely frank about this. I started doing some early damage to Gameslayer, but his deck is just flat out terrifying. You have no idea. So yeah, he is yet to cast anything though, and his deck does have a bunch of cheap creatures, so I think... Oh no, mana starved! Oh, game, why you hate me so much? Now I could just try and abuse this instant and try to win this way. I might have to, but I would rather not do so as of yet. So yeah, mana starved for the win. I thought that 2 mana is enough for this deck, especially with my hand that had mostly 1, 2 and 3 mana cards, but apparently nope. That was an error on my part. I mean, I could care less about Finest Hour. It was very unlikely for me to draw it, but I did draw it in the end, and I'll never play it, to be honest. So yeah, because I only have, I think, literally 2 blue-colored mana in this deck, because I'm not... Okay, no mana, but I have that, so I'm obviously gonna go for Basing Land Cycling, because I desperately need mana, thank you very much. And I'll go for white mana as well. I don't care about blue mana all that much, but I do care about white mana because I use it for a lot of things. So unfortunately I had to waste a decent card in order to get this mana, but as I said, It was very important for me to do so. It did cost me mana to use this, so I cannot cast any more creature spells this turn, but at least I continuously deal minor portions of damage against that. So it's not that horrible, but he now has 4 mana, and this is where things go horribly bad, this guy! Death Touch, and he also is a really good guy when spawning zombies. A really good guy when spawning zombies. Insanely good at spawning zombies. So, what can I do? Well, this Defended and Exalted will not help me at all. This guy, well, first of all, I do need to block this guy, so I need to sacrifice this guy. And by using Sigil Blessing, I could kill this guy off, which is nice, but then I would have nothing on the board, and I kinda lose the momentum. So what I'm thinking is about casting a Rock's Charger, then sacrificing this guy to not die to this guy, but then again, guessing might not attack with him. But then I just overpower Charger, and he will have trample and deal considerable amount of damage to Gensler anyway, and kill this very threatening zombie as well. So I'm thinking about casting Rock Charger anyway, and just reacting to Gensler's actions afterwards. So I'm gonna cast this guy. If Gensler attacks me, then I'll just happily sacrifice my Squire. My Squire is very good and very useful, but honestly, yeah, this guy. Not the best guy to fight, let's be honest. And this is only the beginning of the end. Once Gensler gets 6 mana, I'm just dead! Right now, for 5 mana, he has a very powerful selection of instants and sorceries, and he also has a Doomblade. This is very annoying. And the Grim Return! Yeah, as I was saying, a very powerful selection of instants and sorceries. That's exactly what he got. For crying out loud. This game, I hate it sometimes so much. I mean, I know that luck is part of, you know, Magic, but the fact that you have a very limited selection of cards when creating your own custom decks does mean that luck is even more of a deal, even more, you know, annoyingly a thing than otherwise it would be. Whatever. Okay, so now there's a little bit of a pickle. No matter what I do, every card I cast is going to be instantly killed by this guy, and I can't let him deal damage to me because then a bunch of zombies are going to appear. Let's think about this for a second, but I'm pretty sure I'm out of options. I could try... No, there isn't anything I can do. This Grim Return effed me over so badly. I don't think there's anything that could save me right now. I'm trying to think of it. But no, I could cast the Defenders, the Guardians rather, and they will be able to block this. I would then let this guy attack, and guess I would gain 2 zombies. What's the benefit of that? Well, I would still have a creature on the battlefield, then I could cast another creature and I would have 2 creatures, and then guess I would attack again and have even more creatures. So that's not helpful at all. My only hope is to use Sigil Blessing, but I cannot use Sigil Blessing because it costs too much mana, which I do not have right now. Either way, I need something that can attack, and the only card that I can cast that can attack is this card. So I can pray that Gensler has absolutely rubbish cards, aside from the ones that he already played, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to survive with this, but most likely I'm going to lose this either way. I see no way for me to survive this match. Which is effing BS. Let's just be entirely honest about this. Luck come and goes. For me, in Magic, luck usually just goes. It's just not here, never here, because it doesn't want to be here. It just wants... Whenever I record a Magic game, luck just wants to F me over. And does it very well. Then there's no corruption. You know what, Gensler? This match is so lost, there's no point in just staying in here. I will let him kill me. Oh, killing me would take a while. So let's see what card I get. And then I'll concede, I think. It's not really a rage quit, it's just saving time, honestly, because we both know what is going to happen right now. Oh, and I have to discard a card. How about I discard you, because you're useless to me. So a 2/2 black zombie just appeared. Yeah, well... Good. And... yeah, GG against that. There's nothing I can do for the next few turns, and it will be worthless. Pointless to just continue watching this. So concede the duel. I'm afraid that AI will take over for me, but yeah, there's nothing else I can do. So, this was it, Gensler, you won day number 1. Congratulations, GG. That was very unlucky of me though. Really unlucky, no matter how I look at this. Well, now I guess it has to do with the AI. Whatever. You, my dear viewers, are the most important. I did not want to bore you with this match. Then again, I could have ended recording but just continued the match on my own. Whatever, it's fine. Either way, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. More matches to come, fear not. I do encourage you to continue watching both mine and Gameslayer's perspective. I will link you, obviously, as I mentioned, to Gameslayer's channel in the description. And stay tuned for more videos of the same series. Also, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe, if you can leave a subscribe. Do all this fancy stuff and I'll be eternally grateful. In either way, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you online.